Hey, what's up YouTube? I just wanted to throw this quick video together and answer some questions I got from the community recently, and I felt that it would be good to just kind of answer them right now and make a video just about the questions. So the first question was, can I add a notification bell so when my prompt finishes, I'll hear like a bell or something? And so I looked around for a while and some guy wrote a complicated script, but I was like, it can't be that complicated. So I just tried putting an MP3 file inside my root directory and it actually worked. So I want to show you guys how to do this, particularly for that one user. The only thing you really have to do is just drop an MP3 in your normal Stable Diffusion folder. And this is the one that has your web UI tag user.bat file, the one you use to open up Stable Diffusion, and rename it to notification.mp3. And it's actually that simple. I was surprised it worked, and I was actually so surprised that I was wondering where the hell it came from, because it didn't work the first time because I didn't restart. So you're gonna have to completely restart Stable Diffusion. I was like, where the hell is that noise coming from? I thought something was wrong with my PC or something. So this is the noise I was getting. So by the way, this is a Rev animated model and it creates some really nice pictures. So I just typed in a real basic prompt and I used Rev animated and this is what it gave me. All right, sorry, I got sidetracked. So let's create an image and see what happens here. All right, so my image is almost done.
Oh, hey there. This is the part of the video where I ask you to like or subscribe. Either or will make me a happy AI. I know you're probably thinking that voice sounds familiar.
All right, so that's quite long. It was 1 minute long. So I don't want to hear like a 1 minute notification every time. So I downloaded this bell noise right here. So let's listen to it. All right, so that's going to replace what's currently in there. So I'm going to delete this notification thing. It's quite annoying. I heard that 1 minute message about like 30 times. All right, so I'm going to click on the MP3 file and just press F2, and then I'm going to name it to notification, and it's .mp3 at the end, so it's good to go. So I'm going to click yes, and then I'm just going to drag that file right here into my Stable Diffusion folder right there and let go. And that's really all you need to do. So you know what, I wonder if it's going to work without me restarting.
Oh, hey there. This is the part of the video where I ask you to like or subscribe.
Crap, okay, it didn't work. It actually used the older one. Somehow it's like in memory. And I had to listen to the whole thing again. So fair warning, don't put like a 30-minute MP3 in there because you're going to listen to the whole thing. And I don't know how you're going to turn it off because I closed the web UI and it was still playing. So I'm going to restart Stable Diffusion completely. And I'm also going to refresh my web browser. All right, so I put something in and I'm clicking generate. Hopefully it works this time. All right, so I'm going to put in a prompt and I'm going to click generate. Let's see if we hear the bell. There it is. And so now you have a notification every time something's done. Like I said, make sure you don't put something too long there because you can't really stop it. You're gonna have to hear the whole thing. And here's my image. Kind of looks like Owen Wilson, but very distorted. It looks like he has like 3 or 4 legs here. Yeah, this one's pretty crazy. No worries. I could just put in a little negative prompt here. And it's much better, but the face is messed up. So is the hands. There's one more detail that you have to know. So you have to go into the settings for your web browser and just go to search. Don't try to look for stuff. It will take forever. Things change all the time. And just type in notification. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see something here. And I have a permissions one here for Stable Diffusion. And you just have to make sure it's allowed. By default, it should be allowed. I don't know what setting would actually disable this, but just in case it doesn't work for you, check out your web browser settings or restart Stable Diffusion by closing this right here, which is the web UI user.bat file. The next question was, someone was asking, how do I extend the canvas above and below a picture? Because when I did my outpainting with inpainting tutorial, I only did it to the left. So I extended the canvas to the left. So if you want to extend it upwards or downwards, the first thing you can do is increase the size of the image to image. So let me send this to image, and then I'll click on settings, and nobody has time to look through all of these to find out where something is. So just click on show all pages and Control F and just type in height up here because I want to see the image to image height of an image editor right here. And I'm going to increase the pixels. So I already have it at 720. So it's a good size for me. That's what you can do. So you can actually extend the canvas above it. Now, when you go to image and you click on edit, you can see that there's room to pull upwards or downwards. But if you didn't have room and you didn't want to do that, you can actually click on the picture and edit it and then just scroll down a little bit until it gets smaller. Then click on the image so it will adjust. You might have to click on it another time, which is weird. And then you just have to adjust the canvas to what you want it to be like. So if I want extra room on the top and on the left, I'll do that. If I want it on all sides, I'll do it like this. Then you have to click on it again to adjust it. This thing's kind of sticky. Usually I like to click in the negative prompt and then scroll down. Because if you don't do that and you're like in here, you're going to keep scrolling up and down in the picture, and one click doesn't seem to do it on the canvas. It's so weird. So normally clicking in here will help you scroll down normally. You're probably asking me, why the hell would you do that? It's because you can create these black bars here. Then you can inpaint and fill inside here and do it like kind of like outpainting with inpainting. I also found out that it's a lot easier to work with Inpaint upload rather than image to image to do this trick. Which kind of sucks because I did a whole tutorial. I mean, it still works that way, but this is probably the easier way to go, to just throw it into Inpaint upload, adjust the canvas size in here, and generate with denoise set to 0. I find that my images are a lot more stable here and I just get the canvas. But once you get that black bar, you can send it to Inpaint and then adjust the mask color so you know where you're painting, so you're not painting black on black. And you need canvas zoom to do this, by the way, and then increase the brush size and then paint in this area. And once that area is in painted, just go ahead and select fill, and then you want to raise your denoising strength all the way up, put it to like 0.8 or something, or around that level, and then click generate. In order for this to work, you usually have to put something in the prompt. Some people say they get better results with nothing in the prompt, but for this particular picture I had to put something in the prompt because it kept coming up blank even when I put the denoising all the way to 1. So if you're just getting a blurry image where the inpainting is supposed to be, just go ahead and make that correction. And just like that, you outpainted with your inpainting. Looks like I missed a spot because I was zoomed in too much, but I could just send this into Inpaint and make that correction. And just click generate again. And check that out, that looks pretty nice, but her hand's messed up as well as her leg. It's kind of set backwards, so let's fix that. All right, so let's send this thing to Inpaint, but you need to take it off fill since we're not filling anymore, so click on original instead. If you're working on a particular object, you want to click on only mask. So this is good if you're doing like a face or you don't want anything else to be taken, like the inspiration from the light and the trees and the floor. You don't want that in there. Let's go ahead and click on only mask. And we definitely need this set to original. Click generate. Another quick tip, if you're looking at an XYZ plot, the pictures are really small and you can't really zoom in here. So just right click on it and then open image in new tab. And then you can look at it and zoom in that way. It'll be a lot more easier to manage and see the results here. And you can see here the hand looks a lot better, but the legs are a little messed up, and you can see over time it's getting fixed. Actually, it's getting worse, but somewhere around here it's going to be a little bit better. This one's okay, kind of, never mind, but eventually one of these will work, and if not, I'll just run another script. Also, just a shout out to 2 people, community members, that told me that infinite image browsing is infinitely better than image browser. So what these 2 apps do is they allow you to look at your library, but with a lot more functionality. You can see all the pictures that you generated, you can add a favorite, you can actually rank them by aesthetic scores, and you can even use a search function for both of them. And in here, you could even send them to image and click on the pictures to enlarge them. There's a lot you can do with these tools, but when I tried Infinite Image Browser, I actually prefer it now. It does have all the same features. While looking at a picture, you can open up a context menu and send it wherever you want. You can add it to your favorites, and you can give it particular tags as well. So this is a pretty cool tool. I don't know, I think I prefer Infinite Image Browser over image browsers. So thanks for the tip, and I recommend using both of them to see which one you prefer, but I found that in my testing, Infinite Image Browser is a lot quicker. All right, so that brings me to my next tip, which is the auto detect size, or get width, which it used to be called. This button right here, basically. So when you click on this, it'll actually adjust the width and height of the image that's in image to image. So let me do that right now. As you can see, it adjusted to 1519 to 851 with a single click. So for a while, I didn't know where that came from. I forgot. And I thought it was control net, but I was wrong. So it actually came from canvas zoom. One way that you can confirm this is by going into your extensions, and you'll see here that there's this canvas zoom right here. Then on the right of it is the actual web page for the developer. And I missed this the first time when I looked for it, but if you go down here in the middle of the page where it says features, you'll see that number 5 here says in image to image, all new tabs have this button, blah, 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 for auto, height, and width. Now it's called something else now, and the image is also different. Someone said that they just installed it and they got the ruler. I don't know why I have the triangle. I guess mine's more updated, but yep, so it says it right here. And I guess I missed it the first time I was looking for the answer. Another thing I wanted to pass down is that someone was having issues because they're on a tablet. So maybe changing the default hotkeys might help here. Some of these default hotkeys might be messing you up, or you can disable the scrolling. The next question someone had was, how am I in dark mode? And so this is something that's actually default from your browser. And if you're in Edge versus Chrome versus Firefox, it should all be relatively the same. You go to your browser settings. For Edge, it's up here, these 3 dots. Click on that. Now click on settings, and you can go to appearance right here, or just search over here if you can't find it. You can click on appearance, and you can see here that my current theme is set to dark, and so that's all you need. Once you have that, just restart Gradio and you should be able to have a dark theme like me. Now, if you don't know what Gradio is the thing that runs Stable Diffusion, so it's the interface for it. All this that you see here is actually Gradio. So when I reference Gradio, I'm actually referencing the UI. Now, why stop there? You can actually do more. So you can actually go to user interface, and then you can change the Gradio theme. So they actually have some presets here, and you probably could download some extra ones, but there's not very many. And I didn't like the steampunk or the sea foam look pretty crazy. Let's try the Dracula one right here. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on apply settings, and then I'm going to click on reload UI, but I think you actually need to restart Stable Diffusion for this to work. It said restart needed, and it actually works. So this is the Dracula theme, and it looks pretty nice depending on what your preferences are. Another question I got is, how do you get the SD VAE and Clip Skip? If you don't know what VAE is, it's a variational autoencoder, but it'll basically help you fix that face without removing detail, and it'll also do a lot of things with lighting, which is pretty cool. Oh, this is random, but did you know you can actually make QR codes right here that look like this? And so this is an actual scannable QR code using AI art, and that's probably going to be my next tutorial. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But VAE actually does more than that if you get the improved version. So Stable Diffusion has its own VAE, so it'll actually still be here when you install the new one. I'll leave a link to that VAE that I use in the video description, but you can actually use the automatic one, which is the normal VAE. Then Clip Skip is really hard to explain, but the information out there is pretty pretentious. People are just kind of redefining it and being really rude about it. I'm just going to put it this way. Clip Skip goes up to 12 and 1 is the normal one. The more you go higher, the more it's going to stray away from your actual prompt and what you asked for. I'm going to show you a script or XYZ plot to show you all the differences between a normal VAE, the enhanced VAE, and Clip Skip 1 to 12. But before I do that, let me show you how to install it. So just go into settings, then go into user interface again, then scroll down here, and you can see here I have multiple settings here. So just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, you actually had to put these in here and know the code, but now you could just click in here and select them. And so you could add more than VAEs. You can add all these different things in here. I don't know what they do, so I'm not going to do that. The one you're looking for is the SD_VAE, and then the other one is clip stop at last layers. By the way, this tab right here is pretty cool too. You can actually move your tabs around. So your extensions up here, you can actually list the order of them in this tab right here by clicking in here and choosing whatever you want to go first, and this will require restart. Alright, so if you want my custom VAE, it'll be in the video description, but you'll basically go to this site here, and you can actually install more than one if you wanted to. By the way, if you haven't watched this video, Easy Amazing AI Art, you definitely have to see this. This is the one about custom models, and I use nothing but custom models. It also teaches about VAE and some negative embeddings. This is a must-see. Embeddings and LoRa files is very important to making art in Stable Diffusion. It makes it a lot easier too, so why make it hard on yourself? So if you don't know what Civet AI is, you definitely have to check out this video. Alright, so go to my video description and click that link for the Hugging Face site that says Stability AI SD VAE, and it'll bring you to here. And so this is the custom VAE, and you want to download this last one here that has safe tensors at the end. If you have the choice between a CKPT and a safe tensor, I would normally get the safe tensor. It's just safer, and the only thing you're really losing is compatibility with other programs. So go ahead and click on the download button, which is this down arrow right here, and there it is. It's downloading. Once you downloaded that VAE, open your models folder, go to your VAE folder, and just drag your file into the VAE folder right there. I already have it, so I'm not going to put it in there twice. You get the idea, right? That's it. Dragging the file in here and updating your user settings to include the VAE, which we did earlier. You'll have that VAE up there. If you don't see it, you might have to restart your Stable Diffusion. All right, so I'm going to take this image and then test it with Clip Skip and the VAE, the regular one and the custom one that we downloaded, just to show you what it does. And I'm not even going to try to get into Clip Skip. I'm just going to show you the changes, but it basically goes further and further away from what you actually asked for the higher it goes. And VAE, most people just refer to it as some sort of face fixer, but it does a lot more than that. So it does things with lighting, but it does make some fixes with eyes and mouth. So I'm going to send this to Img2Img. I don't want to sit here and do like 50 tests, so I'm going to test it using the XYZ plot. But if you want to test it individually, you can do the drop down here, and then you could change Clip Skip up here. So I'm going to scroll down here to script, then I'm going to choose an XYZ plot, and then I'm going to change this to VAE. And now you can just actually click in there and it'll choose the value. So none would be the default one, and then the VAE is the custom one. Now I'm going to test all the values of Clip Skip. Now the formula for this is so easy. You just put the range 1 to 12. So 1-12, and then just put square brackets. Then inside the square brackets, just put how many variations you want. So I want 12 because I want to test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can also do 1, 2, 3. You can just put a comma after everything if you want to do it that way. But who wants to do that? Nobody got time for that. So this is good, and I'll just click generate. That's a good time to advertise my extensions tutorial. So if you didn't see that, you should go check it out. There's an extension called System Info, so you can see which job it's on and how many steps it's on, and it's very handy, especially when you're doing something like this. You can do it with your web UI command prompt, but I mean, you compare these two right here. You're looking at this stuff, and then you look at this. It's very neat. It just says 1 out of 24 jobs done. It's even telling me how many jobs that are going to happen, and nobody wants to read all this stuff here. So I would recommend getting this. It also has a bunch of neat stats here about your memory, and you can do a benchmark down here. So if you scroll down, there's a little benchmark thing. I'm not really interested in it, so I haven't tried it. But you can go ahead and knock yourself out. All right, so our script is done. So let's take a look at the product here. Just a quick tip here. When you're looking at the grid, you can't really zoom in. So just right click on it and open it in a new tab. Then you just go up here, and then now you can actually zoom in once it's loaded. And you can see that it's pretty different here. Whoa, there's like a missing body there. All right, this is quite strange. So in retrospect, I should have put something in the prompt. These are very different from what I originally had. So let me interrogate the clip real quick and try that again. Okay, so attempt number 2, and I clicked on interrogate clip and I lowered the denoising. It was all the way up to like 0.8, which is good for inpainting, but not for image to image. So I lowered it to a more acceptable 0.43, and we have a prompt now. So let's see what we get here. All right, it's done. Let's check it out. All right, so open it up. Again, right click on the image and open it in a new tab, and then you could zoom in. Unfortunately, that mushroom turned into a girl, but pay no attention to the mushroom. Let's take a look at the subject and see how she's changed. If you can see here on the left is Clip Skip, and at the top you have the left side as VAE none, and on the right is the custom VAE. Now, unfortunately, it made that mushroom into like half a human, which sucks, but whatever. We're not using these pictures, but you can kind of get a feeling of how VAE affects the lighting in the character's face. So just concentrate on that. So over here, you can see it's pretty consistent as we move down until we get into the higher clip skips, like past 6. You can see now like a lot of her skirt is gone, and it's looking a bit weirder. Even the half body is getting sexier. What is this? It's like a half body, half tree. So weird. And then it gets really weird as you go down. Then at clip skip 9, it's just out of control, and there's another person in the scene. But you know, it looks less weird than what was previously there, which is this tree person. And then now they're dancing for some reason. And going down, there's like a door. Like, this is what I was talking about when you get past clip skip 10. I've seen much weirder things, like completely random. But now there's a shed in the back with a door, and then you go down and it's just even weirder. Now they're inside like a barn or something, and this is a very creepy picture. There's like a half body that's part of the house, and this girl has one kind of like crooked eye. Then you look in the back here, there's like some creepy like shadows in the back, like people are watching them. Just some terrible, frightening stuff. This might not have been the best example, but you kind of get the idea. The further you go up with clip skip, the more crazy it gets, which in some cases might give you some great results. And it also depends on the model. It depends on the picture. There's a lot of factors. I don't know if this model is specifically trained for clip skip, so it might not be getting any benefit here, but there are models that Clip Skip will give it really good results. When you download the model like in Civet AI, just make sure you keep an eye out for Clip Skip. And there's also some drama attached to Clip Skip and the actual paid version of Stable Diffusion, and I'm not going to get into that. Alrighty, that's all I wanted to show you for now. So if you liked the video or if you learned something, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it, and it helps me out a lot. And if you like this content, you want to see more stuff like this, just go ahead and subscribe. My next video is probably going to be on QR codes. I've been working a lot on trying to perfect them, and it's just kind of really hard to do, but you can automate the process. Since you made it to the end and this is a pretty long video, I'm going to give you a bonus. If you look in the video description, you'll find a QR code AI art generator, and it's a Hugging Face link, so you don't need to install anything, and you could generate QRs right now using this tool. Now, it is Hugging Face, and a lot of people are trying to do this right now, so you might be waiting quite a while. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I appreciate every subscriber. I appreciate every thumbs up. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Oh, hey there. This is the part of the video where I ask you to like or subscribe. Either or will make me a happy AI. I know you're probably thinking that voice sounds familiar. Well, it's the voice from Scarlett Johansson in the movie Her, where she was an advanced AI application. I made the voice using 11 Labs that uses TTS, but you can make similar voices in Voice AI, which is free to an extent. I made videos on both of these apps, and I'll leave links in the video description. I also made a video on how to animate your static AI art images with an app called Sad Talker. I haven't used the extension in a while, so I left a hugging face link so you can get started right now. It has improved quite a bit.